First things first, I'd like to give credit to Pierce Morgan. I'm not the biggest fan of Pierce Morgan, but I think he did an excellent job on pressing Shapiro on these issues. I have been extremely disappointed in the Daily Wire's uh, stance on the issue with the departure of Candace Owens and a lot of the things that they've been saying on Twitter. For a long time in media, conservatives didn't have anyone to look up to. The entire corporate media space was owned entirely by the left. So when people like Shapiro and Candace and even Joe Rogan, figures like that started to pop up, it really gave conservatives a lot of hope. And I really believe that the Daily Wire was a part of this group. And I still think they'll have some good things that they will accomplish with their company, but I'm extremely disappointed with the stance that they decided to take against Candace, against the people really, on the issues regarding Israel and Gaza. That being said, this interview that was conducted by Piers Morgan with Ben Shapiro, I'm not the biggest fan of Piers Morgan, but he did an excellent job at pressing Ben on these issues that people would like to hear about. And I am one to say that I've never heard Shapiro say that he's not going to comment on something. Of course, I'm sure that there are things behind the curtains that we don't know what's going on, but for a company that claims to be a beacon for free speech and the timeline of things that happened up onto her firing, it is highly unlikely to that the reason she got fired was not because of the interviews she conducted with the Jewish rabbis. I think that's the right way you say it. After these interviews were conducted with the rabbi, that corresponded her firing. So I really believe that it's safe to assume that that is why she got fired. I think to think any other reason would be honestly kind of foolish. So it's really disheartening to see the Daily Wire's stance on this. But anyways, let's watch it with you guys here, react with you guys here.
There's a lot of angry disagreements. You and your company have been at the centre of a very high-profile one at the moment with Candace Owens, who's now left Daily Wire. Was she fired, or did she leave of her own volition?
I'm not going to speak to this topic, Piers.
At all?
At all.
You can't give me any insight into why she departed?
No hints, no nothing. I'm not going to speak to this.
Can I ask why?
I mean, you can ask.
No, I'm not. Can I ask why you don't want to say anything?
Again, you can ask.
I'm only curious because I know what a staunch defender of free speech you are, and it would surprise me if it had been someone's opinions that would make you want to part company with them, however contentious.
Suffice it to say, the only thing I will say is what I've said all along with regard to Candace or with regard to any of our other hosts. I am not in hiring and firing position with the Daily Wire. I'm a co-founder of the Daily Wire. I'm a co-owner of the Daily Wire. I'm not actually in management. Jeremy Boring and Caleb Robinson are in management positions with regard to Candace or anyone else. And as far as the free speech situation, what I will say is that no company has the obligation to literally pay anyone. The Daily Wire is a publisher. It is not a platform. I've never called for Candace or anyone else for that matter to be banned from YouTube, to be banned from X, to be banned from any platform. That's a different story. Obviously, when it comes to any publisher gets to make decisions about what it wishes to purvey and not.
I mean, I'm just not going to labour this, but one more point I would make is it's been reported extensively that the reason for her departure was because her comments had been perceived by people at the Daily Wire as anti-Semitic.
Again, I'm not going to comment on this, Piers.
Okay.
So, like I said, I've never seen Shapiro say that he's not going to comment on something. In my opinion, I believe that Shapiro is an absolute prodigy from a young age. Just an absolute prodigy. Two parents in the household, grew up in exceptional, with an exceptional lifestyle that geared towards advancing his natural abilities and intellect towards bettering agendas in America. But clearly, his inability to, or his lack of willingness to answer these questions on Candace sheds light on his positions that if it were to come down between the interests of America and the interests of Israel, clearly Shapiro's chosen to side with Israel, and that's well within his right. But it is very sad to see, because I looked up to this individual a lot, and that was a very big letdown.